Just before we get into this month's Rushmore, this one was a real pleasure for us to put together because it took us back to essentially the start of horror. We got to see the birth and continuation of vampires. We got to see what arguably created the werewolf subgenre. We got to visit hokey universal monsters, dabbled in alien invasion with a Russian spy subtext, and visited some absolute classics, which I'm sure you're expecting to see on this list. It's a really interesting journey into how horror started. So if you guys are up for that, happy Halloween. Let's get into the show.
You are indeed listening to the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast. And today, we're going old school. Really old school. Because we're talking classic horror movies from the 1940s all the way through to the 1960s. Back when monsters wore suits.
Hold the phone.
Huh?
1940s or pre-1970?
Well, 1940 would be pre-1970, wouldn't it?
Yes, but there could also be 1930, which would then be...
I thought, this is a good way to start the show. I thought the list was 40s, 50s, 60s.
My note was pre-70s, so that would really screw me over. Because there's at least 2 or 3 films that I think are pre-40.
But that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I'm just putting it out there.
Let's just say classic horror. There we go. It's done. You have a wider pool of movies to choose than me. Even though you've gone back further than me, this is when monsters wore suits, ghosts whispered instead of screamed, and horror relied, I would say, arguably more on imagination than CGI. I'd like to share something with you now, AJ, that you, my dearest, bestest friend, were ringing in my ear because of all of the movies that I've had the pleasure of watching in preparation for this podcast. A lot of these have been first-time watches for me, other than 3 of them. Everything else, 4 of them. Everything else is a first-time watch. So I like it when that happens, you know?
It is a bit of fun. I will admit there's a few that were, again, the same for me. I think about 3 or 4. Some I didn't even revisit. There's a bit of the old, I know this one, so I've worked with it. But it is a nice bit of fun. It is something to appreciate when you've got fresh films.
This isn't what I was getting at. The appreciation of fresh films is always great. This is what I was getting at. You are on record in our 8 seasons of doing this, saying, I don't like horror because it's not that it does scare me, it's that it doesn't. Famous last words, right? I can categorically say, other than my number 3, which has scared me since I was a child, not a single movie on this list has in any way, shape, or form scared me. However, I can appreciate the utter brilliance that has gone into making these movies, how ahead of their time they were, how influential they were, some so much so that they actually spawned their own subgenres of horror, which are still alive and kicking today. Like, it really feels like a massive privilege to have gone and watched this side of cinema history. And it just made me think, this is kind of the point I've always made to you. Horror doesn't need to be scary to be great. Because horror isn't scary doesn't make it less of a horror.
I have to somewhat agree with you because a lot of the films I watched, it wasn't fear. And it had me on this weird tangent of sometimes going back to see if I'm watching not the right film, but the right classification, you know? And what I found is I feel the pre-slasher, I'm going to go pre-slasher on this of horror, works very much on a psychological. It leans very much into the thriller, at times even the noir.
Yep.
I really had a different appreciation. And one of the things going back, and I'm really doing this for Gavin while I say this, because I think our Platinum one may have heard me say this as well. I would often quote Hammer Horror and other studios of this, possibly of this time, and be like, those are the ones. And I feel like being a, dare I say, 7-8-year-old who happens to be up late at night and see a Dracula, that's probably what got me more than when I look back at some of these stuff now and be like, well made, beautifully made, but didn't scare me. you know.
No, but this is
Yeah.
what I've been preaching to you for so many years now about what being a cinephile is. You know, I had this, funnily enough, at the premiere of The Spin, which we were discussing off screen before. Follow me on Instagram if you don't know what I'm talking about, at the Silver Screen Dudes. We were discussing just after that, there was a few actors there and they were like, oh, what's the scariest horror of all time? And they were mentioning the usual suspects. You know, there was The Exorcist, there was The Shining, which then led into a tangential conversation about, is it a horror, is it a thriller? It's like, it doesn't matter, it's scary. Someone brought up Paranormal Activity, which of course made me think of you. And someone brought up Don't Look Now, which I was like, that's a hot take. And I was sort of there standing in the corner, ready to just butt slam everyone. And I was like, listen, I don't mean to be funny. Every single movie I've heard here is worthy of being in the discussion for greatest horror ever. If we're talking about actual greatest horror ever, there is only one answer. And I know for a fact you're all going to disagree with me to start off with. And then when I've made my point, you're all going to agree. And they were like, huh? I was like, Jaws. Dramatic pause. And they were like, what? It's not even scary. Like the shark, it's aged. I'm like, the shark's aged. It's dated. We've seen it a million times. They played on Christmas morning. It's now a PG. I've heard all of the above. Riddle me this. What movie has scared people still to this day, now 50 years old, generation after generation, is now afraid to go past waist level when they visit the beach?
Can I be real? Now, I've always remember you saying, going to your nautical side, that a dolphin is probably more dangerous than a shark.
Way more.
The other one that we should probably be a sugar load more scared of is the killer whale. Yet here we are celebrating Flipper and Free Willy.
Yeah.
And we're all terrified of sharks. And yeah, it would be based off of that.
The polar bear is super cute because it's on the Coca-Cola Christmas commercial, right?
That will tear you apart.
That thing will rip you a new one, brother. Like they should make a polar bear horror movie. They've done Cocaine Bear. I want to see Cocaine Bear Part 2.
Polar Bear.
Right North. There we go. It's a lad in London all over again.
you mean into Polar Express?
Oh, the real Polar Express. Well done, sir. No, but this is the point. Jaws has scared people till the end of time, and people regard it as a great movie, not just a great horror movie. All the movies that at least I'm going to bring up today is because, as always, I don't know what your list is.
Yeah,
bro, it's really like hit me in a beautiful way how wonderfully made these old films are because of the limitations of what they had to work with. And sometimes, like my number 4 in particular, oh God, I've fallen in love with it. Like that's going on the bookshelf very soon. It's like you had limitations to work within and you were just like, screw it. We'll leave it up to audience imagination. They'll get what we're going for.
Cool.
And it's
there's some nice journeys out there. Some people that I've known to be certain people have shown me that there's something else. I'm like, that's cool. I've liked that. One person I've just known to be one character, and I've seen them as someone else. I can see the tropes, what led them to be that person in that film. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's been a interesting journey. One film gave me a good smile. I'll mention it when I mention it. You won't have to wait too long, sadly. But yeah. There's some good. There were some nice ones out there. Others I know I need to be in a. I always say that you need to be within a certain frame of mind to get certain things. And I think, again, appreciation for a film, but expecting something based on your category can make you appreciate a film something else because you're like, I'm not scared. I'm not this. But, it's there. But it's sorry. I do apologize. Shared flat. Did you hear the shouting? Or
carry on. It's all good.
Yeah. So there, that was that there was some good moments in that. Bear with me one sec. Yeah, so it's going to be a good one. But we've spoken enough. Take the reign, my friend. You're number 10.
Well, AJ, are you ready to dive into the foggy graveyards and creaky mansions of classic horror? Or, well, if you're an audience member who prefers your scares in color and a little bloodier, this isn't the video for you. You're not going to have big scares on our rundowns today, but what you are going to have is a dissection of brilliant horror from a bygone era that is still influencing horror modern horror to this day. I do feel like we should tell people how the show works, though, first.
Oh, yes, that would be handy. That would indeed be handy. Take it away.
Here's how the breakdown works. We get assigned a topic, we go our separate ways, we come right back here into our recording and deliver to you, our film family, the Silver Screen Dudes, our individual top 10s. Who's going first this month, AJ?
You're there. Take it.
Okay, this month I'm going first, and I will start with my bottom 3. AJ will then deliver his bottom 3. I will deliver my next 2. AJ will deliver his next 2. Then we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are rounding off our individual top 10 list, one person has a movie in a higher position, that person will say,
punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the higher position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10s, we will create, in the voice of the dearly departed Matthew Perry playing Chandler Bing, the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential diverse must-see movies of the genre, which this month is
top 10 classic horror movies, and by classic we mean pre-1970.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be the one. I'm going to ask one last question. This is more for the YouTube viewers. Are we happy with this gold background, or did you want to go back to your previously beautifully created thing? I'm happy with this.
No, you know what? You're quite right. Where's our classic? Where's our normal background? Have you got that?
I will have a look. I believe this would put people back to
yeah.
There you go. We're on the big screen, Mama. We made it.
Well, one of us is. Oh shit!
Oh! Oh! Like I've not been kicked in the gut enough this week. Wow.
It's all love.
It's all love. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Right, AJ. My first. It's the granddaddy of sympathetic monsters. But by today's standards, it's maybe more mythic than scary. Hence, starting off my list. Because my number 10, AJ, damn it, I've lost where we keep our media assets. There we go. My number 10 is The Wolfman.
Do you know why I sigh so badly with this? When I do this stuff, I do a major deep dive. And I started with some stuff, and I started earlier, and I didn't get a chance to go to The Wolfman. I will bring up how The Wolfman was very, very instrumental in 2 other films I wanted to watch. One of them I started, and I'm like, nope, you've not done enough backstory, and I had to pull back on it. But I was so desperate on it. So this is one that was so on the list to be seen, but I didn't get to see.
It's aged horribly, as you can imagine. An American Werewolf in London. This is not. But I was watching it, going, you know what? This establishes all of the werewolf myth. You know, the
law, R-E, not L-A-W.
The lore of werewolves, and it established the first werewolf transformation. Fun fact, Lon Chaney Jr., who actually played the Wolfman, his makeup transformation, dig this, took over 6 hours to apply.
I think I heard about this when I was
and he had to sit perfectly still during the entire process. Just stop and reflect on that a minute. We can't sit still for 10 seconds now without doom scrolling to the next reel or short or TikTok video. We can't get out of our house without having headphones in our ear listening to a podcast or music. We are in need of constant media entertainment whenever we are walking or breathing nowadays. This mother flubber had to sit in a chair under a hot light for 6 hours with no movement.
Yeah.
And story-wise, it's the classic werewolf tale that if you've ever seen a werewolf movie, you've seen this story a million times before. But it, of course, started here. You know, perfectly good man gets bitten by werewolf, ends up being
werewolf.
Not perfectly good man. And you know, it doesn't end well for the werewolf ever, unless you're a swearwolf, bro. If you know, you know.
Definitely post 1970.
Sure. Here's a question to you. Why do you think the werewolf myth has become so appealing and also so enduring?
I once heard a joke, and I tried to share it once in an office Failing to remember there was a lady in the room and she gave me such a stare. I was like,
You see something
"Ooh."
naughty?
Yes. It's a joke that I had many years ago. Due to cancellation, I probably won't go there. But they were like, "Where do you think the myth came from? Someone who's perfectly normal, but every 30 days becomes a bit of a monster." And she turned around and gave me this death stare, and I was like, "I'm just saying what I've heard. I didn't say it's linked." But
Werewolf is an allegory for a woman's menstruation cycle. Very, very astute, sir.
look, the thing is, if we take away the what some will call misogynistic caveman joke, if we take that away and just be real, there are these weird laws, LORE, that are created that make sense based off of something. Now, I'm not sure. Could it well be a case that there was a wild case of rabies around this person and they've done that and they've now made it into this? I don't know, but it works. It's the same in I'm sure we're going to bring them up. It doesn't matter which one we do or don't bring up. Vampires, the whole. Some talk about they can transform into anything. Others would like to say that they could turn into just bats. Others don't believe in it. The reason I had the biggest problem with Twilight is you're trying to tell me they can chill in the sun. Like, what do you mean? Like, the core law of a vampire is, they can't.
And crucifixes are now a sex toy.
Do you know what I mean? When you break tradition, it's wrong. But it's
I've
just
seen in The Exorcist where she's like, "Oh, Jesus." Jake could be like, "Okay."
So these are the weird things. So what created it, I don't know, but I think it goes very much hand in hand with what we said pre-starting this, where you go into the Jaws situation. Once I give you something and I've installed what back then may have been fear. You now stick with it. Like there's all sorts of things that happen. People still joke about being home before midnight based off of Cinderella. There's something that once it's popular enough and it goes round enough, it makes sense.
There's something inherently endearing and yet creepy about werewolves, isn't there? I've always loved them, and yeah, that's why Wolfman is pretty comfortably, I would say, my number 10. But let's move on with this, shall we? So from fur, fangs, and some full moon regret, which is why I started with a classic tragic monster, let's go into a bit of painted corruption, AJ. A movie that I have always wanted to see. I am talking about 1945's The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, this is cool. See, he was the one person in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen that I was like, huh? And then I was like, oh, this sounds like a cool story. So yeah, nice.
It's, by the way, special shout out to archive.org, a completely free, legal, no sailing the seven seas, internet-based website that hosts classic movies.
I've come across this before.
Yeah.
I've come across this before.
Every
I can't remember if I've
single one of these movies is available on archive.org. Now, in a world where we are being told you must pay $39.99 a month for your TNT sports package if you wish to watch the Champions League, plus you must pay, is it 20 quid a month now for Netflix? Plus you must pay 17 quid a month for Amazon. Oh, if you like South Park, that'll be an additional £20 a month for Paramount Plus, because that's the only place you can watch South Park now. Oh, and let's not forget Discovery. You want to watch that good Warner Brothers stuff? Pay. And if you want HBO in the UK, well, sir, you need a Sky subscription. All in all, that's more than I used to pay for cable. And despite paying all of these subscriptions, you try finding Picture of Dorian Gray on any of them. Other than Amazon, of course, which would have it as a paid bonus. I don't have a particular beef with that. It is what it is. But as an available to stream movie, it does not exist. And the fact that this internet archive, which seems to, by its very virtue of its actions, believe in the same stuff I do, which is keep art alive, preserve art, because unfortunately, all of these streaming services are not studios. They are effectively big tech companies. which are creating art, looking at you here, Netflix, creating art algorithmically as opposed to creatively, they're going to keep putting out stuff like Selling Sunset and Love is Blind. And you may get the odd good series here and there, but it's all being made because of people's lazy algorithmic habits. Picture of Dorian Gray, you're not going to see it on Netflix.
AI is only going to make that worse as well.
Way worse. Way worse. Because now they're going to use they're going to use AI to actually program their algorithms, and the AI will get it wrong.
Stuff I've heard other stuff, and it's really not for here. But you look at WWE. Apparently, SmackDown's now being done with this, and something.
Well, yes, Trip GPT, right?
Something. Who couldn't tell you what it is, but it is just terrible. And there was just it goes beyond.
You can tell.
But I heard of something. Well, I'll be honest. Trying to catch up with something. Very small tangent. Don't want to go too far. But where two points of where AI can be dangerous when you think you've got the right answer. One of them, I could both of them is through searching. One was AEW. Just try to catch up on what's going on, and I'm searching Wrestle Dream. Do you know AI predicted? Are you ready? Cody Rhodes comes down to help Darby Allin save AEW. And you're like, you what? That is what AI can predict. AI also believes a friend of mine, comedian by the name of Uri Styler, check him out, Aurie, is in a polyamorous relationship. And so he was doing a comedy sketch, and I've seen the clip online where someone says to him, what's it like being in a polyamorous relationship? And he's like, you what? What makes you think I am? They're like, we Googled it. So Google has extrapolated all this info through AI. And what it's done is he met a polyamorous couple in the crowd, asked them a question, but it's now got Ori and this, and it's now taken that woman's name. And it was like, Ori is in a polyamorous thing with, let's say, Jane and an unnamed woman. And they're like, you what?
The misinformation that's going to be spread is actually alarming, and considering people's reluctance to actually inform themselves if something is true or not. If you dispute that, look who's in the White House and look who's leading in the polls here in the UK. Yeah, we're not blameless here in the UK. It's people will bite onto a headline, which is why See You Next Tuesdays like Piers Morgan chase headlines as opposed to content in context. I got my headline. He says women have a penis. It's like, it's not what he said, but you got your headline. Good job, Piers. I don't know why we're going on this tangent. Yes, because I was ranting about streaming services not actually protecting art. Archive.org.
No, for sure. And just one last bit on it, just to go into that argument. I don't believe that when you have a subscription and then sub-subscriptions within a platform, that there should still be another paywall behind an individual film. I know what you're saying on Amazon. I continuously say it. I feel like if you've got Amazon, then you have to then sign up to Paramount. Why am I now paying another thing to get to this? I know it's not under the Paramount banner, but I find it weird.
The Paramount thing is weird. Anyway. So picture of Dorian Gray. If you've seen League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you kind of already know the story. It's really cool. So a guy effectively sells his soul for the privilege of remaining forever youthful. And this picture that's been done of him, which captures him in his perfect youthful exuberance, starts to decay as he commits various evils. I really encourage you to go watch it.
I want to.
It's really quite good. And considering it's, Jesus, nearly 100 years old now, it's one of those movies I encourage everyone to go and see. 80 years old this year. Mad.
Jesus Christ above.
80 years old this year.
No. When I say it, I'm going to say it, and I'm really like, wow. Okay, we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, I mean, I'm down with that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's really quite good, mate. There was definitely some stuff I wanted to discuss on this. Yeah, you haven't seen it, so it's kind of hard for me to press you for questions on this one. I'll finish with this. It's elegant, it's allegorical. It really does creep under the skin, and it does overwhelm you. It's, I guess it's what you'd call intellectual horror, elevated.
Yeah.
It's really quite brilliant, man. Okay, so from a portrait that ages while the owner smiles, let's enter a house and step into some vanity. Do you remember a movie with Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Luke Wilson called The Haunting?
Yes.
Did you know it was a remake?
No.
Yes, it's a remake from a 1963 film called
The Haunted.
The Haunting. Funny that. Bro, this movie got me something rotten. This was, as I said, apart from my number 3, none of these movies scared me. This one was close to getting me, I tell you. There was so many clever things it was doing with its camera work and with its sound design. Like, director Robert Wise used virtually no on-screen ghosting. Everything is built through camera, sound, and suggestion. It's all implied horror. It's really clever. It's like honestly, it's like a high watermark of psychological horror hauntings. It's pure, and this is why I loved it so much. It's pure craft over like cheap shocks and jump scares. It's really artful. Like, so there's these scenes where the two women are sort of hiding in the bedroom as the door's going. You know, you can hear these bangs on the door, and then you can hear footsteps on the paved floor outside. They're getting further and nearer, further and nearer. And then when it goes quiet, they're like, oh, it's gone away. And this camera, bearing in mind, this is 1963, when these sort of things hadn't really been experimented with yet. All of a sudden, you get this sound as the camera goes, and it goes right up to the door handle and freezes as the door handle slowly starts to turn. And I was like, I'm not scared, but
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like that, yeah. And it really, really got me buying into the idea that, yeah, so this house is haunted. This is properly uncomfortable. Whereas the more modern one, in a typical modern way, went big CGI thrills and let's have a real ghost, and the Hugh Crane in the movie is somehow related to the lead protagonist. This one originally was like, dead all that noise. People coming in to do a vanity psychological experiment in a house that they don't think is haunted, but that's known as haunted. They found out the bitch is haunted. We don't need to say, oh, but the lead act character, she's related to Hugh Crane. They don't need to bash you over the head and then show you ghosts and do all of this nonsense. The characters just slowly start to disappear, and it leaves a puzzle in its wake of how, why, what's happened, how did it happen? I'm uncomfortable. And because of the clever camera work and also the shot location, like wherever they filmed this house, all the corridors are very same, but different looking. It's all very similar. So it's literally a real life labyrinth of, I don't know where I am in the house. And that in itself is unsettling. I don't know how they pulled it off, considering when it was shot. It's brilliant.
Love it. It sounds actually really fun.
It's really good. Yeah. So that's my bottom 3. Over to you, sir.
Okay, right. So, as I said, I went way back, and I've just literally typed it in now because this goes back to 1929. You will find it available on YouTube.
Good. Respect YouTube.
It's only 20 minutes long. I did not know that Salvador Dali got involved in film. I know about his art, but I didn't know he was involved in film. Don't know if you're familiar with this. And Chien Andalou, which would be an Andalusian dog for anyone who's not familiar in French.
I heard about this. I didn't get around to watching it.
Bro, it's 20 minutes. 20 minutes found on YouTube. It's a very interesting film in the sense that look, it's 20 minutes.
Hello, Leon.
Yeah, I know. I'm nearly about to give that shout out. But there's not much that you can say in 20 minutes. But if I told you there is no story in the 20 minutes, makes it even weirder, right? It's down to your own interpretations. They're saying it's the first sign of give me 1 second because the word has come out of my mind. Surreal. No.
Surreal?
Yeah, surreal cinema. I was like, is it surrealist? I was like, yeah, surreal cinema. It's very weird. There is one scene that I heard about, and I was like, no, I'll be all right. And it opens with it's a very famous scene. Like for those on YouTube, you'll see it. There's a man with a blade, and there's an eye. That's even if you're on pod, you can figure out what I'm talking about right now when I say that. And I was like, I'm sure I can hack it. Saw that, and I was like, okay. But it's just these weird moments that still come about. And again, in a film that doesn't have, it starts off with Once Upon a Time. You see something that happens, a man shaving his blade. Next minute, blade. Well, I don't want to get us locked, but
Blade eye, I get it. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You see something, and then you're like 8 years later, then you just see someone cycling down the road, then a car accident. It's like, what am I watching here?
Right.
But in the same breath, it's something that has me like, yeah, okay. Weird to say. What I would say, I click the first link for you. It's not going to be a problem. When I say that is because being a silent movie, you get your words written where they have to tell you stuff.
Right.
What I've seen is in French, the subtitles were Spanish. You may need to do a further, deeper dive, people, just to get an English sub to it. But hey, look, 20 minutes of your life is not going to kill you to sit back and watch. So much so that I may even give it another one to see if I can make an interpretation outside of it. But I thought definitely worth a mention. Because I'm still unsure, that is why it is my number 10 as opposed. Initially, it was my number 8, and I was like, because how?
Well, let me push you a bit on this. What is your initial interpretation of what it means?
Again, I think it's the expressionism behind it all. I think there was a lot of expressing how creative and how, I don't want to say gory, how you can insert fear into people. I would say would be my touch in it. How you can, because you got to remember the other side of horror, as well as tension, is the grotesque. So you've got certain things that will have you uneasy where they're creating tension. Others have created grotesque. And it was just, I always get fascinated when something's very old. And I'm like, I see what you're trying to do here. You know, that's my thing on this one. I'm like, okay. And I always try to remove myself from being a man who was able to watch this on a phone while traveling versus being someone who's paid cinema money, sits down in a room, and this is on a big screen the size of a wall, you know, and being like, what am I watching? I always try to put myself back in their frame when I watch these stuff back then. And yeah, like, did it give me the chills? No, but did I have points when I'm like, what are we doing here? But that's because I've always said this, I need a story to make sense to me. So when I'm now being thrown with scenes and clips, I'm like, huh? But I'm still like, okay.
But you love La Jetée, right?
Yes, but then there is a voiceover,
a narrative, I suppose. Yeah.
Which then gives it what it is. And you know, that X amount of minutes short film could be filled out and becomes 12 Monkeys. That's how much you can interpret with just a small little narrative to it. So, you know, you get, as long as you got the bone, you can put some meat on that bone. So,
what's your number 9 then, sir?
Honestly, part of me said I should have kept it as 10. I think you've brought this up before, and I don't know if you enjoy it or if you hate it. And I was like, if I insult him, I insult him. Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, I left it off.
Are you a fan?
Meh.
I didn't. Look, you said it. I've heard stuff, and I know people go for it, but it kept coming up. I'm like, right, now's the time to give this a shot. I started off intrigued.
Got bored very quickly.
Started getting very bored, and then by the time we're talking of, she slept, and this is embarrassing because I'm going to say by the time it's like, did she sleep with the devil? The film was probably 20 minutes in, if not half an hour. I didn't even check the clock, but I was like, this is dragging. Mm-hmm. This is dragging. That's what, honestly, if there was an 11th film, it may have ended up on worse. Like I can be honest in what I'm saying in ranking. There are certain things in life where I'm like, look, we had a clash of words over Banshees, where I was like, I'm not going to say I hate the film, and you were like, no one can hate it. What I'm saying is, you can not appreciate a film. There are times both of us will look at people and talk of Shaun of the Dead and be like, don't get it. This very much felt in that territory. I'm like, it started so promising. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Nope.
And then it really started to kick me in the gut. That I was like, this is dragging. By the time we got to the end, I was like, okay, is this the message you're trying to portray to me? That's
And
how
even that big reveal at the end is such a load of whatever. His eyes, like fuck off.
Yeah, bro. I'm glad we're in a similar territory. I was just like, yeah. The whole thing was like, can we just get to the point? And then when I did get to the point, I was like, oh, you wasted my time. And it's weird to have you at number 9 when I could put more love on another film. It just had more meat on the bone.
I actually had this on as my worst, and I forgot to say punt, to be fair.
Okay.
I got a whole rant ready for this.
I will let you run.
Do I rant now, or do I wait for the...
Oh, save it for worse. Okay. I say let's save it for worse.
So, pun! Damn it!
Hey, there you go. Number 9 is Roman Polanski's first British film. UK.
No, I mean, I'm not going to edit this out. Just go.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just talking. I was like from one Polanski to another.
So number 8 then.
Yeah. Oh, did I say number 9?
Yeah.
My bad. Number 8. It had me questioning what I feel about Polanski if I'm going on a thing. And I'm not going to say it's 8 out of default.
I'm going to say something unpopular. Roman Polanski is a one-hit wonder.
Oh, you probably got better.
Chinatown, awesome. Other than that, don't care.
Do you know why I like this film? I'm going to bring up the title now. Repulsion.
Oh, I have heard of this, to be fair, and I've not seen it, so maybe my judgment's premature.
Do you know why I appreciated this film? And I shouldn't look. So this one had me a bit more intrigued and held me a lot longer than Rosemary's Baby did, but it still had me questioning certain things. Do you know what? I'm going to say something to you now. Out of context, but it's going to go right into context. Do you know where we used to go to school? The NatWest Bank that I signed up to. Do you know it's going to become a Gales very soon?
Bro, I swear, they're eating so good around there now.
It's going to become a Gales very soon.
You've seen that strip which used to be road and which is now all walking street. The amount of good restaurants along there now.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, they got an Honest Burger. I was like, why was you?
Fun fact about that Honest Burger, and I don't care who wants to call me a pleb. I was doing a favor for a friend one day, and I saw these people. I was there, and I had to wait an hour. I think I was picking up a passport or something for him. And I thought I walked into this little boutique restaurant that was offering free burgers on the first day. So I was like, oh, congratulations. I hope the restaurant does well. No. It was an Honest Burger, and I got a free burger for the launch of the South Ken one. That was fun. But going back to it, so I'm looking, and you're right about Gales being punchy, because I saw some businessmen walking past, saw the sign for Gales, and were like, Gales, very nice. Bit costly, though. That's what they said. So I was looking at that, and each time I'm on my way to and from work, I'm like, oh,
Gales is way too expensive for what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I appreciate those little raspberry and lemon frangipane things they have are lovely, but it's the size of my thumb and it's a $5. Like,
yeah, I can't just
can't do it, bro.
I can't.
Can't do it.
I was there in lockdown once upon a time. I popped in there because it was one of the few shops I could go to. Bought something twice, and I was like, I remember buying an apple juice about this big, and I, finger to thumb
something, right?
Bro, I think it was $4.50, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I enjoy it, but it's not worth the shot. If you're more expensive than Marks, I've got to start to be like, whoa. But that was that. So I'm
Marks,
here.
However, I'll pay for.
Yeah, I don't mind. I can justify.
That's some good eating.
Yeah. So I'm there doing what I'm doing, realizing that my old bank is now soon to be a Gales. And then I'm watching this film and I'm like, I know this area. This film is shot around South Kent. And that same area that you said was like a drive-through, you see them walking through there. It was very interesting to see South Kensington pre-us. This is 1960 something. And that caught a thing. And then I'm watching the film again. And I don't want to be like, I'm playing the nostalgia game, but I think I was. I'm like, she's on Hammersmith Bridge. So there's all these little bits that started to trigger me more. So I'm like intrigued in the film through what I know, but there was also this question. The lady is Catherine Deneuve.
Oh, I like
it. Yeah. She's the lead person in this film, who is a manicurist. She lives with her sister
Mhm.
in this small little flat, and you can see that something starts to trouble her.
Mhm.
There's a gentleman who expresses an interest in her, but she shies away from him, and he keeps trying. He's not a creep. He is what you would say the softer kind of gentleman. He is actually a gent. You know, like even when his friends start to make noise, like
My mind thought, is he a bit bonjour then? Like,
it's okay. Ooh la la. We're cancelled. We're cancelled.
shit.
but no, he's just a guy who's showing interest, takes the lead, takes a couple of knockbacks. Are like, if you're not interested, let me know. You know, there was a bit of that as well. His friends are like, oh, bring her around. Like, let's, you know, bring her around. A few friends. I'm sure we could kick it off. He's like, you have some respect. Like, he has good intentions.
Mm.
And gradually, you see that the flat she shares with her sister. There's this guy that her sister's seeing, and he does these small things that wind her up. She has a glass, probably just to, you know, rinse her mouth or what have you, but he puts his toothbrush and his blade in there, and you see her put it on the side, and she's like, why does he do this? But you can see there's this disdain she has against this guy, but gradually you start to realize she's a bit uncomfortable around men in general. And the more she's left alone, the more you start to see stuff develop in her insecurities. Sometimes you're not sure if it's fantasy versus reality, but it builds into something, and you just see this slow descent into madness, essentially, and a few atrocities that will happen in the round up to it. Again, I would agree with you. Polanski doesn't really get the juices flowing, but this film I had a bit more intrigue with it. I'm not going to highly recommend, but I'm like, yeah, this wasn't too bad if you're willing to stick it out. I feel the guy knows how to drag. He knows how to drag his films, if I'm real.
Doesn't he just?
But yeah, give that.
I mean, look,
out of interest.
South Ken, Catherine Deneuve, maybe. You haven't got the juices flowing yet, the way you have with Chien Andalou.
Yeah. That would be it. So those are my bottom three.
Okay. Fair enough. Right, so that's over to me then. So, yeah. So I slowed it down and we listened to a haunted house whisper with a haunting. How about we have now a desperate fight for survival that spanned its own subgenre? I'm going to bring in George A. Romero's horror masterpiece, Night of the Living Dead.
This I was very tempted to do because I think I watched.
Really?
I know it goes against me in the zombies, but was it not this that there was one of the films that was a remake, but it was in a mall that I watched.
Yes, it's this.
So it was a remake, but it's a much later one, which I kind of enjoyed.
With Mackay Pfeiffer, if I'm not wrong.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if I had watched both, and I was like, I'm sure I've seen it, but I couldn't remember enough, and the other one was in my head, and I just didn't get a chance to go back to it. And I know me and zombies, I didn't rush to get back to it.
Man, this movie, it's raw, it's revolutionary, and it's unpolished in the best possible damn way. Without it, I would go so far as to say contemporary horror probably looks very, very different. Fun fact, Romero made this film for just over $100,000, no studio backing, and accidentally birthed the modern zombie as a vehicle for social critique, which is just inspired. Like, when you think about zombie movies like that, the decay of society, it is social commentary when you think about it.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the need brain, eat food. Blah. There's all of that stuff, which, or in your case, you like the speedy zombie. Need food. Like the freaking dogs at the end of Look Who's Talking Now. Fresh meat. Yeah, you like your speedy zombies, don't you? But yeah, man, the gore, the makeup, it's so ahead of its time, this movie. It is so influential. Obviously, it spawned a subgenre which you have zero affinity for. I appreciate that. But it doesn't change the fact that it spawned a subgenre.
It's weird. It's weird to say zero because 28 days later, yes. World War Z, yes. And the remake to this, I did not despise. I just find that all the Of course. So I can't. Do you see where the zero affinity is a bit? But as I say, I have this ranking.
If they ain't running, I ain't coming. That's AJ's stance.
I have this ranking of monsters, and I don't know if it's from a cartoon or something, but there's a ranking, and I always see zombies as the foot soldiers, and that's why I just can't.
Thick, of course they are. Like
They are. Like, to me, and it's
they've got no powers. They're just be undead. It's like they were supposed to die, and now they're like dumb and rotting. Just don't get caught by them.
To me, it's vampire, mummy, werewolf, maybe Frankenstein, ghosts. Then
You put Frankenstein above werewolf.
they were at the same level. I couldn't. I think.
Oh no, werewolf over Frankie any day.
No,
I'd put werewolf over mummy as well any day.
Werewolf is over mummy. Werewolf.
You just said vampire, mummy, Frankenstein, werewolf.
Oh, it was Frankenstein. So, vampire, Frankenstein, and werewolf at number 2.
Yeah.
Mummy third.
Yeah, you put mummy second just now.
Oh, did I? Okay, my bad.
I think. Play it back.
Which one? Either way, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Werewolf 2, definitely 2. I love me a werewolf. Yeah, zombies way down.
Yeah, and I think that's what does it for me. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, analyzing the zombie as a form of mythic pop culture. Yes, absolutely, I agree with you. But looking at great movies,
that's the thing. The more I watch,
there have been some good zombie movies.
Yeah.
And it all started here. Like, if you like zombie movies, and weirdly, this hasn't aged that badly because most of the effects are practical. So it's the ideation behind it, the speed at which the zombies move, the plot devices. Yes, they'll feel a bit dated because they're things we've seen 1,000,001 times. So especially if you've watched the kind of more nuanced modern zombie movies and then you go and watch this, it's like, sure. But this was really ahead of its time, man. And I've got nothing but love for it. Yeah. Style, power, great messaging. I'd say it probably still frightens. If I showed this to Leia, she'd probably crap the bed, So it's always a good litmus test. Would it scare my 4-year-old daughter?
Yeah. Age dependent, you still have some weight.
By the way, just in case anyone wants to call social services on me, I'm absolutely not showing these sorts of movies. Don't be silly. Don't be bloody silly. So let's go to my what was that? My number 7, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. So zombies eat you, eat brain. Night of the Living Dead gives you zombies. You know what's really scary in horror? Children.
I did risk weapons. I am kind of gutted with myself.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
I did risk weapons.
Top 10 of the year, easily. Weapons is awesome, bro. Yeah. But think about, The Ring, The Grudge. Like, kids in horror are creepy, bro. So, yeah, let's go from that. And I'm going to bring in Village of the Damned. A movie which I know so much about in name, but was a first-time viewing for me. It's one we've all heard, and most of us millennials have.
Is there a sequel? Because is there Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, or is it all just the same film?
No, I'm sure there's a Children of the Damned. I'm sure there's also a Children of the Corn, which is its own subgenre, which I've never seen. But yeah, man, this one is freaking brilliant. It's quiet, it's unnerving, it's quietly sinister. You don't know what the hell's going on with this movie. Like, let me break it down for you. So George Sanders, who is also, by the way, the lead in Picture of Dorian Gray, which I brought up earlier. The whole town, this small little town, all of a sudden, everyone collapses. It's like, what is going on? What's happening?
I'm intrigued to think I've seen this film.
Or am I mixing this up with my later one? Damn it. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm not going to give you the plot. But yes, it's these children are born all around the world at the same time in different places. Exact same time in their different time zones, but the exact same time. Turns out these kids are creepy alien demons. Now, how the hell do you create creepy alien demon children in the year 1960? Well, look at the poster again.
I know.
The eyes, bro, the eyes. The freaking eyes.
It kind of
Killing stares of the children in this movie are so freaky. And they were achieved with painstaking optical effects and tight-eyed performances. Like the kids apparently had to be literally like that freaking scene in A Clockwork Orange where they staple his eyes open.
Do that one more time. Do that one more time, just for those who.
But that,
yeah.
Creating a look that it really creeps you out, man. I mean, Murderous Child, A Village of Murderous Children. So I've heard some people say online this film would be creepier if they use modern day CGI. This is one of the few movies where I would say possibly. But I'm also always apprehensive when someone's first straw is, let's use CGI. It's like, let's make a good story and then see if CGI is needed to enhance it, to not necessarily to create it. Yeah, man. FFS is cool and charm. And so what the kids do, it's very much like the Purple Man in Jessica Jones.
Love it.
Yeah. So the kids go full Purple Man on the whole town. If they perceive anyone to be a threat, they mind possess them and get them to do all sorts of horrible stuff. I'm talking shotgun to the neck. I'm talking driving into brick walls at 50 miles an hour. I'm talking jumping off a cliff. Like, these children are messed up. And now here's the thing. Because they're an alien species and they can read minds, if you're like, well, we need to murder these children, they know you're thinking that. So how do you stop people who know that you're thinking to stop them? And that's the plot device.
Nice.
Ain't it cool?
Nice.
They know what you're thinking. I want to murder you. Aha!
There's something in my head, and I'm like,
yeah,
I hope that's not the way that they counteract it, but I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to ask you, and you just tell me yes or no. Because I'm wondering if this is where it came from. Check the price.
No.
Thank God for that.
No, hell no. It's way more clever than that. You can say it now. AJ was asking tin foil, like in the movie Signs. No.
I was wondering if tin foil would be the counteractor to these kids. Thank God it wasn't. Okay. But yes, continue. Oh, that was your number 6, isn't it? 7 and 6.
That was my number 6. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So, yeah. My top tier man, my top tier villain or monster comes in now. I am going to 1931 Dracula with Bela Lugosi.
So, you've gone Lugosi. Huh? Is this your only Dracula entry?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of cheating there, but go on.
Do you know what it was? Partially
Dracula.
maybe out of time because I did want to go different, but they are starkly different as well. The story be the same in all three.
Lugosi speaks a lot. Lee doesn't.
Yeah, like this is it. So you've got, look, there are vampire movies that, you know, let's call it Vlad the Impaler. Let's go with Vlad the Impaler, and I think we've done top 10 vampire movies. Go back.
Nosferatu.
Right. So you've got all of these, and you've got different ways. There was even that film Once Upon a Time that showed the making of Nosferatu with John Malkovich. Brilliant film.
Did you watch Nosferatu at the beginning of this year, by the way? You still not seen it? Bro!
That's another one I flopped on. I'm not
you who's a vampire guy. My God.
I know. My hey, shout out Tegan. My mate Tegan watched it and she was all over it.
Oh, it's bro. Listen, spoiler, it was my top movie of the year until recently.
Okay, look, there are digital hires available, so it's not. So
please do it before we finish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it may well still make
Weapons and Nosferatu. Watch.
Cool. Those are on the list. So it's weird to get into the story of Dracula. Like, to me, probably as much as I didn't like the Green Mist, and I think I had a few issues. The one with Keanu probably be my favorite.
You reference it as the one with Keanu. How about the one with Sir Gary Oldman?
you know what? Because I swear to you, and it sounds so bad.
So bad.
Old man was it was at the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't get it out. I was like, no. I had to.
Got the sir part. I love it. Well, like, the Lee one, the Lugosi one, the Keanu Reeves one. One of these things does not belong. Like, what the hell are we doing?
While mid-speech, I didn't want to Google to be like, oh, of course it's Gary Oldman. Like, I felt so stupid.
Bastard sleeps. Like, shut up, Keanu, please.
But yeah,
John Wick, I'm here for you all day. You doing a British accent? No.
It's not that. But
Just
yes,
no.
You are indeed correct.
I love you, Mina. Could you stop enunciating everything with the back of your throat?
It's the only way to sound English, lad, don't you know?
Oh, don't you know? Yes, I know. Where the
Just before that, he was like, totally.
I think you might have just ruined the Coppola Dracula movie for me. You've actually ruined one of my favorite movies. I've never made the connection, probably subconsciously on purpose. Every time I see that movie now, I'm gonna hear Keanu going, totally. Every time. Carfax Abbey, totally. I love you, Mina, totally. I know where the bastard sleeps. Totally. You've killed it.
Excellent.
You've killed Dracula. What have you done?
I apologize.
Shit.
I apologize. He wants to remove it from his collection.
I'm bloody thinking about it. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Do you get... Oh, what have you done?
It's a classic, bro. Leave it in there. And again, it's not Keanu's movie. It's Gary Oldman's movie. So
I love you, Mina. Totally. He's on the bookcase. I can't even pick up the DVD with that.
You can. It's Gary Oldman's film, bro. You're good. You're good.
Sir Gary.
That's what I said, sir. I said. Sir.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. So look, the story of the story of Dracula be the same, and I don't want to go into it because screw it. Number 6 is the same thing, but there's something about Lugosi that I quite appreciate. With you can tell you're not far out from a silent era because Singing in the Rain is the one that portrays it most. How much people's facial expressions are required to sell who he is, and he's always looking into the camera with those wide eyes, and it's very expressionist. And I think it's a good story. I can see, and again, as I said, when I put myself back, I can see why it installed fear in people before. It had enough of a chiller to it for me personally. Are you good or are you still hurt?
Totally. I'm properly hurting though. Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. And I genuinely think it's gone from that pegging. I always knew Keanu was bad, but I can forgive it because Hopkins and Oldman are amazing. Freaking. Generally don't know if I can ever watch it the same way again. Every time I see that motherfucker's face on screen, it totally. Shit.
I do apologize.
That's actually too funny. It's actually too funny. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm okay. Yeah. Carry on.
Cool. Well, look, not much can be said between 7 and 6 because I have also brought up Christopher Lee in the Hammer version. Now, this to me.
That's a pump.
Okay, cool. Okay, over to you.
Oh God, totally, fucking totally. God, what have you done to me? So that was my 6. Okay. So we've done the brood of blank-eyed kids. Now, let's move on to something which I actually thought, when I watched it, I loved it. And the way that when we watched, this is a strange one before I reveal it. When we watched Hail Caesar and we were like, I like it, but I need to read about it. And then we read about it and it was like, oh.
Yeah.
I see what you've done now. I get it. That's super clever. This is one of those movies where I was like, I really like it. I get it. but I feel like there's more to it. And then I went and read about it. I was like, oh, you're so clever. So it was remade, and a lot of people don't realize, then they think that the Donald Sutherland one is the original that came out in the 70s. But no, sir, I am going all the way to 1956. My number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This film.
See, I thought I didn't know of this. I think the 70s is the one I was familiar with.
Everyone does. So when I was like doing research, I'm like, classic horror, 1940s to 69, which was my search. I kept on seeing Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I'm like, no, Google AI is bugging out. I know for a fact that Donald Sutherland one is 1970. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Okay, cool. Let me click on the link. Oh, there's an old one. Okay, well, what's this about? Turns out, and this is the part that fascinated me, a Cold War era fear distilled into efficient terror, more cerebral than gory, but so influential. And I would say the influence probably outdoes the scares, but that's kind of not the point, because again, we're viewing this with the modern lens. It's a movie metaphorically about paranoia, but practically speaking, there's these pods that start appearing in the town, and there's these creatures that start taking on the exact form, like they're mimics. They take on the form, the tone, the appearance of your closest friends, loved ones, neighbors, even your dog. Aliens, right? And I'm like, that's a cool concept. So alien invasion, people you know and love can't be trusted anymore because they might be aliens. Who do you love? Who do you trust? How to know? That's the story in a nutshell. Beautiful concept. Town gets overrun, and it ends with a harrowing sight of the lead running into the motorway in the busy city. And you kind of get the impression that, it's already spreading. Right? Beautiful concept. And then you remember 1956, height of the Cold War, height of Russian spies in the USA, the height of communism.
Context is mad.
Yeah. The height of, not being able to trust anyone. Jesus, I mean, we've got Dalton Trumbo, right? Who, a noted, brilliant scriptwriter, but a member of the Communist Party. So people thought, Russian spy. Like the paranoia in the 50s was running rampant. Obviously, you and me didn't grow up with that. We were born literally just before the Berlin Wall fell.
Yeah.
I was 1, you were 3, I think. So we didn't grow up with the red Russia, the red flag circling.
Yeah, because I bear with me a second.
We didn't have all that.
89, yes, I'd have been 4, which is right in the sense that I remember seeing the wall coming down, but having no context whatsoever.
Why is this a big deal?
Yeah.
And people like, right. I don't remember it. You're older than I was. I was 2 at the time then. Man. When you look at it through that historical lens, the movie without that historical knowledge is freaking good. Like really.
But good. When the nation is tense already, the intensity of that was definitely gonna have you.
And bearing in mind, I only found out about that connection after the fact. And it's what made me go, wow, god damn, that film is clever. It just genius. Like, were it not for my top 3 being immovable objects and my 4 being a newfound passion project, yeah, man, this is worthy of being a 1. Like, if someone made an argument that this is the greatest classic horror, I'd be like, go on.
Nice. That I think I might give that one a shot.
It's so good. And again, archive.org.
Nice.
1 hour, 19 minutes long.
It was a bit of a blessing with some of these films that they just
beautiful. They know how to tell a story in an hour and a half or less. Look at that art that seems to have disappeared. And this one, bro, and Village of the Damned. It's not like, let's now give the character 20 minutes of exposition about who they are, what their modus operandi is, what formed them as a person. It's like, no, get in there. Town collapses, children arrive, invasion. Amazing.
Yeah. Nice.
Opening scene. Stuff goes down. It's like, wow. And because it's, old school films are shot in that way, from literally the first frame, you're like, I'm in. What's going on?
Nice.
I believe in character development as much as the next guy. You've heard me often criticize things like the MCU, as much as I love the MCU, of being very, very void of any type of real character arcs other than the good guy became bad or the bad guy became good. Okay, archetypal arcs. Not much really more beyond that. Steve Rogers got the girl. Okay. That's deep, man.
Yeah.
That
Very surface level. Very surface level.
Very surface level. And then you've got the more dramatic movies, which really, really want to go full on into character exploration. These old school movies, they're just like, we agree with all that. Let's just get to the party. I don't need to know about how your day was. Let's get to the freaking party. It's great.
Nice. I couldn't agree more. Some of them I turned on. I was like, "Ooh, we'll be through with this." Like, it sounds bad, but yeah, when time be limited, sometimes, or you just want to.
It's a blessing. Absolute blessing.
Yeah. No, that's nice.
Your number 5.
Cool. My number 5. The one and only Sir Alfred Hitchcock. I am talking Psycho.
No, pun.
Okay, cool. But you're number 4 then.
What the hell? Okay, I'm a bit shocked by that, to be fair. Right, yeah, so this is the one that I've been looking forward to talking about. So we're going from an entire town you can't trust, paranoia incoming, kind of giving it away in my little segue tease here. And let's go to a lone monster who just happens to live in a lagoon. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Bro, I went into this movie thinking, I kind of have to see it. It's the last Universal monster movie. It's going to be hokey. I watched this.
What kind of, yeah.
No. I watched this after The Wolfman, and I was like, okay. This was the second movie I watched in the whole list. And I was like, okay, if this is what we're in for, this is, I guess, what classic horror is. It's hokey monster stuff. Very glad to say, as you've seen on this list, that's not been the case. So when I opened this podcast and I said, this is, monsters who are in suits. You can see it on the poster, like that monster in the top left. That's not an exaggeration. That's how the monster looks in the movie. If you're coming here for some amazing creature effects, no.
Look, you'd be lucky in the 70s, let alone when this film came out. So yeah,
you're gonna appreciate why this is such a personal choice for me. But work with me and work with, like, beyond just being unique to me and my sensibilities and likes. We're talking about specifically scuba diving here, by the way. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is something that's quite unique to me and our circle of friends. But minor little history lesson on scuba gear. When I go scuba diving now, I have my first stage, which is the part that connects the hoses. I'm speaking in layman's terms here. The hoses to the top of the tank. You have what's called your second stage, which is the thing that goes in your mouth and allows you to breathe, also known as the regulator. You have your alternate air source, which is your backup air supply, or your backup hose specifically if something goes wrong. You have a hose that goes over your left shoulder and clicks into a jacket or wing that you're wearing, known as a BCD, a buoyancy control device, that once that hose is connected, you can deflate and you can inflate your jacket, right? And then you have a fourth hose that goes down and it tells you this is how much air you have in your tank, right? Many useful toys to keep you safe. Cool. When these guys were doing this in 1954, the regulator wasn't called a regulator yet. The BCD didn't exist. These guys were putting tanks in harnesses onto their back with a single hose, called it an aqualung, because that was the first regulator invented by Cousteau. Going down without BCD devices, And when I tell you, like a good 40% of this movie is shot underwater in 1954, it made me go, this is amazing. Because like the sheer feats of like what these guys are doing underwater, like swimming, keeping their buoyancy perfectly, doing underwater stunts while fighting this damn creature. And I'm like, it's 1954. How are you doing this? Like, and then I was also thinking outside, breaking the fourth wall. I'm like, they filmed this underwater in 1954. Like, Jacques Cousteau was still discovering reefs and documenting it in really poor quality, in no color. Not that this was in color. This is like crystal clear visuals that I'm seeing. This is amazing. And then I started to see shots that they were doing. And this is where I think as a cinephile, you're going to appreciate this film. There's one point where the girl's swimming on the surface and then she pauses and her arms are just doing that and you see her kicking and the camera starts moving towards her. I'm like, well, Steven Spielberg just called and brought Jaws to the party. What is going on here? And then there's parts where they're taking the boat down the river towards the Black Lagoon and they come across a dam that they have to blow up to get in. And there's an exchange where, yeah, maybe they're trying to keep us from getting in. Or keep something else from getting out. And it's like, well, Anaconda just called and it says thank you for the line and the idea and the whole notion of traveling down the river. Like, and that was my experience with this film. I was just watching it and I was like, every single monster movie, even remotely set in the water, owes its freaking existence to this film, including Jaws.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Will very soon be on my bookshelf. I was honestly, bro, watching it like,
nice.
And people are like, oh yes, but you know the monster looks hokey. Yes, the monster looks hokey. Forget the monster. Like, it's everything else that's going on in this movie that is absolutely incredible. Fun fact: the Gillman suit was so restrictive that underwater filming required specially trained divers and slow, careful choreography. That made the effect feel really, really like eerie. And it was actually so heavy that they had to crane him out of the water. Can you imagine? You don't like the idea of going diving now. Can you imagine being this motherfucker?
I'm kind of creeped. My face may not show it, but the tension inside is deep.
Yeah. In a suit that's hyper restrictive, knowing that I physically can't get out the water. I need a crane.
Someone needs to save me.
Like, the more I watched this movie and then the more I studied it post watching it and read about it, I was like, this is amazing.
I'm down, bro. I'm down. You've sold a few to me. You sold a few to me, but this is, yeah. The monster unit, the Universal Monster Universe is something I'm quite into anyway. Something I've got plans to really go through and check them all out. So yeah, that will be
again on archive.org.
Nice.
I will plug that website until the cows come home. Free website that keeps art alive.
Do you need to sign up, or it's just click, isn't it?
Free. You just click in.
I've been on it. I know I've been on it. I can't remember when I brought it up before, but yeah, it was just one of those things that every now and again you get these graceful websites that you have to be grateful for.
Oh,
grateful websites to be grateful for. I get it, but like honestly, they're these little hidden gems that really need a bit more love.
Bro, like, hang on. Let's have some fun.
I get scared with the fun that you mentioned, though. I know exactly what you're going to do. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not actually going to play the movie because
no.
We'll get done. But like, hang on.
Just show the anthology.
100%. Share screen, innit?
Yeah.
Let's go right here. Bosh. Can you see it?
It's coming up. Yeah. Mad.
Right here. Right now. Picture of Dorian Gray. 1945. Ready for me to watch. Click play. I'm good to go. Archive.org.
God bless the people who've done that. Honestly,
Really, right?
it really
Like,
is.
well done. Well bloody done.
Okay, that sounds awesome. That's yeah. As much as I had a bit of claustrophobia in that, I think I can enjoy that film. I might have to take myself out of it a bit. Right. Bela Lugosi returns, bro. This is pre-Dracula, I believe. This is under the Hammer banner, and this is called Invisible Ghost. I don't know if you've heard or seen this film.
I haven't.
This is a bit of fun. Now, there's not much of a spoiler in this. We start with this thing where you can see. I don't want to be great expectations, and he's living in a house alone and not been able to get past his wife dying, but he kind of lives in a life where he lives a very, very simple life. He's got his butler and his gardener, but you can see he's not been the same man since his wife has passed away, and he's very reserved and what have you. His wife is believed to have died in a car accident is the situation that comes out. And since then, there has been a slight bit of trauma. Now, I don't want to pull this a spoiler because it's not. Very early on, we see that he starts to sleepwalk, enters this guest's room in his house, and very Bela Lugosi a la Dracula, eyes and goes for the strangle.
I want to drink your blood.
It was very much a bit of that, just without saying anything, and that's where the tension goes off. But it's not that he's completely unaware. The reason he's unaware is because it is a sleepwalk. There's one time he does, I don't want to get into spoiler, but you are aware he's unaware because he just asks so many questions on the time. You have your doubts and it's there. We then find out as well that the gardener has gone home and has gone into a basement. And lo and behold, in the basement is Bela Lugosi's wife, who didn't die from a car accident. She happens to be alive but has amnesia. And it's not that the gardener's got any malintent. He's just like, she's not ready to go back. As her memory gets back, I will bring her back. What happens when the gardener happens to become one of the victims? What happens when this woman finds an escape but isn't able to remember who she is? People are seeing murders left, right, and center. It's very much a crime investigation thriller, but still having elements of horror in it. That it really had me intrigued with it. It just develops further and further, and it's like, how does he find out? How do we stop this situation? This lady is here. She doesn't know who she is. There's the police involved, which kind of, I know it wasn't the same, but I still had a few feels of Inspector Calls, which is something that I always love because it's, you do
love that story, don't you?
I love it to bits. But there was just all these elements behind it, and it's just more detective than Inspector Calls, to be honest. But oh, so this lady that we thought's dead, this is her, that's that lady on the painting. It just unravels more and more. And I had a very, very, very good journey with this film. As I said at the top of the show, some of these things don't lean into the horror, but I also appreciate where it would have been horror in that nature. It was more of a, thriller with the intensity of Lugosi's sleepwalking demon, as it were. Also gets you slightly triggered. But it's a good watch. Definitely enjoyed this one.
'Cause it's a thriller. All right, man. Yeah, right. All right, my number 3. So let's go from the Black Lagoon to a quaint little town and an unfortunate story of a school teacher. He was a peculiar man, AJ.
Oh. I've God, yeah. That is from how old this really is.
Yeah, listen, 1949. It's not a full movie. It's actually half a movie. It's in the same territory as you with Un Chien Andalou. It's only like 25 minutes long. The whole movie is like a dual thing called The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. With the highest of respect, F the Toad.
But they're not linked, isn't it? It's
not
two short stories. It's two short stories.
It's The Wind in the Willows and Sleepy Hollow, essentially.
You know what I would say it is as well? Because I realized when I tried to watch it, I got slightly thrown and then it hit me. It's very much a case of the Marvel Super Hour we used to get as kids. One's Iron Man, the other one's Fantastic Four. They just happen to be in the same slot. They are not the same story by any
means. It's Disney bundled two very different literary adaptations together here. Sleepy Hollow with Ichabod. It's notably darker and scarier than most Disney shorts of that area. And in fact, most Disney movies, period, I would argue. Hell, bro, this scared me a hell of a lot more than the Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow did. And I thought that was pretty creepy.
It's not a bad question.
Like, I think any fear I may have had for that Depp Sleepy Hollow was probably ingrained because of this movie. Like, what they did, it was really clever. It's not an adult horror, but it is essential viewing. It taught generations that spooky atmosphere can indeed exist in animation. It's kind of like if cannabis is a gateway drug, this is like gateway horror. It's gateway horror status, and that's why it gets such a high spot for me. That, and bro, still to this day, that section that happens just after the halfway point when, you know, Ichabod's outsmarted Brombone and he's at the dance and he's got Katrina Van Tassel lording over him, and then Bron just catches him having spilt the salt, throwing salt over his back. He's like, superstitious. And he, you know, the tradition in the town on that Halloween night is that they all tell each other ghost stories. And Bing Crosby, who does the song here, and who also happens to be the narrator of this movie, recounts the tale of the Headless Horseman. It's chilling. And it's basically mental torture and bullying because, you know, there's lines like, so when you're riding home tonight, make for the bridge with all your might. He'll be waiting in the hollow there. The Headless Horseman rides again. So they created, because up until this point, you don't realize it's a horror. It's like, dude comes to town. He outsmarts the village jock. He's not your stereotypical good-looking guy. He's actually kind of dorky looking, but because of his brains and the fact that he's a teacher and he's a bit smarter than the jock, he outsmarts him, and he's the one who ends up with the girl and ends up in a good graces. You're like, standard Disney fare. Out of freaking nowhere, they bring in this song. And it just volte-faces to like a...
Yeah, it changes.
Why am I feeling creepy? Why am I creeped out? And then it doesn't miss a beat. It cuts straight from that song where they show it. The final shot of that song is Ichabod visibly like
shaken.
Yeah. And now him having to face that long journey home through the Sleepy Hollow woods. And the way that, you know, the way they managed to emphasize the sound, that inherent fear we all have of the dark. You know, you're sitting home alone at night, you know for a fact that the house is empty, and then you just hear a...
Bro, even now,
we've all experienced it.
I'm in my room recently, and there's something, because I've changed room, there's something that knocks, and I know on the other side of my wall is nothing. And I'm like, what's going on? Yeah.
Your rationale says you're fine, but there's something carnal and like very, very, very cavemanish in you that, you know, that like, my guard's up, you know? And it plays on that feeling that every human being has. This man walking alone through a forest, which he's just been told is haunted by a freaking headless horseman, and which the whole town believed to be true. Now he starts hearing what he thinks are horse tracks, but it's actually just reeds tapping on the log. He starts hearing what he thinks is a shriek, but it's just an owl, right? So it plays with you for a good 5 minutes. Like, is it real? Is it fake? What's real? What's not? Is this a figment of his imagination? Is it just a legend that he was being bullied? And then the reveal happens. Now, much like in Jaws, when the monster reveals itself, it obviously does lower the stakes, and it becomes... it's tense. Like the Headless Horseman is an incredibly creepy character, but once the myth becomes reality and you're staring down the barrel of death, essentially, it's like, okay, well, now the fear is real. Now it's survival time. I must run, right? It's the fear of the unknown that really grates on you. It's that 3-minute song followed by that 5 minutes of dread walking alone in the forest that, since I was a kid, has never left my psyche. Ever.
Nice. Look, I know it's near and dear to you, and it is a great cartoon. I have had the opportunity of checking it out, and I remember it, I can't remember exactly, but I remember realizing it's two different stories, because I was you kind of want an end, but when you realize that that end is the end, it kind of knocks you for two as well. And I think that's the sad bit about.
I mean, yeah, the villain wins.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's that, but it's just the way that they do it that you think, oh, there's more, and you're like, but why is this? Why am I watching this next story? It's got nothing to do with what I'm watching. If Disney separated them now, you've got a perfect story in one way. You will feel a bit shaken, and yeah, you don't know how to feel with the result. Yeah, that's a good one. That is definitely
9. And I was like, you know what? It wasn't even in my thinking, and then I was like, think. What types of movies creep me out? Well, Sleepy Hollow kind of creeped me out. Ichabod and Toad really creeped me out. Wait, what year was that? Haha! 1949. You qualify. I'll take you. You're number 3.
Right. Yes, it is 3. I was like, no, it's not. It's the way StreamYard lays stuff out now. It had me all over the place. I was like, no, it's my number 2. Right. My number 3 is from the Hammer House One More Time. This is a film. I can't remember the year, but it's called Nightmare. Now, this was pretty good. I'm not going to pretend I know any of the cast or anything like this. But it starts with this young lady in an asylum, and her mum's calling out to her and what have you. And I think, if I remember rightly, a bit sketchy on the beginning, but she's come to visit her mum, but then they close the door of the asylum and she's now in there, and the mum's like, you're where you belong. You're meant to be in here with me. And she starts screaming like, no, I'm not meant to be in there. I'm not meant to be in there. And then you realize she's actually having a nightmare. But it's in this boarding school. So she wakes up all the other girls around her, and the teacher comes out, and they start to, comfort her and what have you. And then we realize that it's a recurring dream that she has. And it's because her mother committed a murder some time ago when she was a young child. And it's ingrained in her that she believes she may also, the mental illness is hereditary. So she's always very cautious, but she's ultimately petrified that she's going to follow into this. And what leads into it is that there's a school break. I don't want to say summer holiday, but she's now going back to the family home. They've recommend, as she gets there, she starts to recognize one thing, and they're like, no, don't worry about it. They drive her off, bring her down. She stays there. She sees the old housekeepers and what have you. But because of her condition, we've been told that, I believe, is it her father or stepfather? There's someone there who's now that for her to be there and be alone, that while the parent's not available, they've got this carer to be there for support for her. And they seem to kick it off straight away. But the nightmares continue, the dreams continue. There's this freaky doll that starts to play with her mind, and all of this starts to continuously build, and the nightmares continue, and she keeps getting settled down. And she starts to see this mysterious figure in her dream. And she can't figure out who it is because she's not met this lady before. What happens when the lady that you see in your dream, who has been freaking you out, turns up to be real because you now encounter this person? Now she's uncomfortable around this person. Now she's freaked out. Now she's like, why are you here? Please leave me alone. But it happens to be this person's wife. Screw it. This is as far as I'll go into terms of spoiler. Oh, you've gone. I didn't hear what you said there.
It's a bit Fatal Attraction, isn't it?
It's Fatal Attraction, but it's it's a noir. It's a noir, bro. It's a horror noir that comes out. So and when I say it's a bit Fatal Attraction, yes, she does end up killing this woman. She then gets locked in to an asylum. And what I'm going to leave you with is while she's going into the ambulance, she looks up and from the window she sees the same lady that she just killed in the window. Is it a girl?
Oh,
Is it someone there? And you're like, you what? And now she's there. Does she get back out? Does she not get back out? That's not on me to tell you. I would say watch the film. Like, this film was one that had me on, ooh, okay.
clever.
There's something else in there that was, obviously it's not as good or what have you, but it reminded me of I saw an influence into another film. And I don't want to say anything because where I've left it is purposely left where I've left it, you know? But I was like, oh, okay. So that special that bit of cinema makeup was used before. I was very impressed by this film. I was like, okay, cool. I enjoy this. I enjoy this one. Nightmare is definitely one to look out for. I will get the right year for you because there are a few films under the name Nightmare. Bear with me a second. Probably on Archive. I
It's definitely on Archive.
1964.
Yeah, qualifies.
Yeah, 1964. So it's probably there. Yeah, probably on Archive when I say it's probably there, but very, this one I liked. This one I liked.
All right, my number 1 and 2 are the punts, mate. So, you know, the first punt was you brought it up as your number 6.
Oh, Dracula. Yeah, cool.
Dracula, or for our US audience, it was known as The Horror of Dracula.
Ah,
Yeah, it got a different. It released pretty much the same year, but they wanted to call it a different name, so as not to confuse with the original. With the Bella movie. Yeah, man, it's what I loved about Christopher Lee's rendition compared to Bella, who is very much "I want to drink your blood." You know, it worked then, but it's quite hokey and ham-fisted. I don't think this movie's really aged. I think there's, especially when you consider that it's like, this is late 50s, it's 1958. It's quite violent for the time. It's quite intense bite scenes. And the other thing that I absolutely loved, like Christopher Lee's Dracula barely speaks, yet like his screen presence and his physicality, they reshaped Dracula from like a theorized monster, I want to drink your blood, to like a sexual predator. I mean, he's literally a sexualized predator in this movie. And I was like, it's minging, but it's definitely what kind of made vampires, quote unquote, sexy. There was a certain sexuality to Lee's Dracula. I mean, do you prefer Lee's raw menace or Lugosi's theatrical Dracula?
I think it's too theatrical when you go to Lugosi. That's the problem. It's just too theatrical for its own good, but it works. What I like about Lee as well is, I'm not sure. Have you seen this in black and white or in color?
Color.
Yeah, color as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's been recolored. For as dark as it is as a film, it's extremely bright in color, and that contrast has always got to me when it comes to watching this film. You know, it has that extra edge to it as well with Lee. I think he's got that extra edge of the quote unquote vampire that we're familiar with now. You know, you can see the groundwork in Lugosi, but it's still a bit too heavy. It's still a bit too, as I said, you can see that we've just come out of the silent era with him.
Yeah,
you can. And it's not knocking him as an actor. It's just the time period. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So Lee, again, look, I the way I ranked him was 7 and 6. You know, with Lee just taking the edge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I like what Hammer brought to Dracula that Universal, who were the previous owners of the franchise, hadn't. I mean, Hammer gave horror color, gave horror blood, gave horror libido. It's iconic for style of a complex storytelling. I mean, the story's this style beats substance here? Usually I'd say no, but in this essence, I do think, yes, style
But
is
it adds to it, doesn't it? It's not that they do a disservice to the story, and that's important in this conversation. If you were going to say that style overtook substance, no, it inflated the substance of it. They knew how to continue telling the story.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's freaking great. And look, this, my number one and my number three, they're just immovable objects, you know. I forgot about them going into this list. I really tried to be like 10 new movies, but I'm like, who are we kidding? It's freaking Christopher Lee playing Dracula. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I get that. I'm cool with that. We are in the same theme, and you may call it cheating, but I felt like, especially because I was pre 1917, not anything else. I had to show love to the concept of horror with the official OG. You mentioned it earlier, but you're talking remake Nosferatu.
Yeah, man.
Now, you can't not talk horror. At a point, it was nearly number one. It was nearly number one for me. But there's something about my number one which you might just laugh at. But I was really taken in by it. Nosferatu, it's set place.
You're such a wanker. If it's what I think you've done, you're a knob. Carry on.
Okay, we'll see. It just stuck with me as my favorite on watches of new watches, put it that way, which might be a recency bias. It may well be.
I apologize for preemptively calling you a wanker.
Fine. I don't think the film's that bad. I just enjoyed it. It was the tropes of horror that I would work with within it. Not to say that the other Draculas haven't, but the blueprint. I
left Nosferatu off, just disclaimer, on the basis that I understood we were only doing.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, no, 100%.
If we were doing this, Nosferatu's right up there.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. You can't knock it. This I work with, and I was like, I can imagine what it. I mean, you read about it and know how it ruined people, but I can imagine being there in the time and. You know, the silence behind all of it as well is chilling in itself.
It adds to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really is something that I get it. Some people, it just may not work for them because it's way too old. I get that for some. But to me, I'm like, if you are sitting down and you give this film the time and just be like, they had, going back to like what you said about the monster from the Blue Lagoon. Black Lagoon. With what you've got, how you pulled this off.
Yeah.
Salute. Like I can imagine the makeup. Again, we talk about what it done, how long the Wolfman's makeup had to be to create that, and for people who have never seen something like that before, and that's what's delivered on screen, it was bound to give you a bit of something. And the story of Vlad the Impaler, whether it be because of the way you read the books or just because the Romanian cash-in, and I'm not being offensive when I say the Romanian cash-in, they work. It's the same as Scotland. It's the same as Scotland working on the Loch Ness Monster. You know, there are certain things that you work with the stories in there to make a cash grab for tourism. You would look. We've still got Jack the Ripper walks over here. Yes, he was real, but you will because people are fascinated by certain things. So with all of this, being aware and then seeing that, it is bound to have shaken people up all kinds of ways.
Oh, of course it has. Of course it has.
And top tier. It couldn't have been left out. And as you said, had you been just anything pre-70s, I'm sure it would have been in your list too. So I appreciate that. You know?
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. And bro, I cannot stress this enough. Please watch the remake that came out this year.
I will do.
It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I watched that, and it's again one of my favorite directors, Robert Eggers, absolutely knocking it out the park. Between Nosferatu, The Witch, The Lighthouse, the Northman, he is on such a tear. And the fact that his next movie is just called Werewolf, I'm like, yo, Robert.
Is it got Robert Pattinson in that one, or am I just
in Werewolf?
Yeah,
it's a very good question. He's worked with Pattinson in The Lighthouse.
He's been in The Lighthouse, but I can't. For some reason, I thought I heard of them pairing back up.
Let's find out.
I could be so wrong.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
It may be ATJ. It may be ATJ that I had.
who he worked with on Nosferatu. So yeah, and he's reuniting with Lily Rose Depp, who he worked with on Nosferatu, who, by the way, was absolutely fantastic in that film, and Willem Dafoe, who's been with him on all of his movies.
Actors and their muses. Check it out.
Yeah, man. Check out that old episode. We should revisit that for the new YouTube channel, actually.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, man, it's respect on Nosferatu. Right.
Well, I know you're number one, and I
Well,
get it. Oh, you have a worst. Go for it.
It's time for a part where I get to needlessly be cruel.
Go for it. Go for it.
My pick for the most overrated classic horror relic that gets more nostalgic applause than it deserves is.
I will not even stop you. I am not going to be offended.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, but it's so good. Oh, but Polanski. Oh, but the devil. Oh, but the eyes.
Oh, shut up. I said it. I know it's like critically acclaimed. I know it's on every top 10 horror of all time list. Here's the problem. It's also unbelievably slow. It's painfully self-indulgent. Like, I can literally smell Roman Polanski's dick cheese from his self-fellatio in this movie. And it's about as frightening as watching wallpaper peel. The first 2/3 of this movie are just Mia freaking Farrow wandering around her apartment looking confused while every single neighbor whispers suspiciously like they're auditioning for Days of Our Lives, Satanic Edition. I get that it's meant to build dread. It's meant to build psychological tension, paranoia, blah, blah. There's a fine line between suspense and nothing happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening for an hour and a half.
Do you know what? It's sad that you say an hour and a half when it feels a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and when the payoff finally arrives, it's a shrug. The big reveal. It lands. It is like a, I don't know if this will trigger you. You know when you give someone your hand to shake and they give you one of these, like a damp handshake? That's how the big reveal felt to me. And whenever specifically men give you a damp handshake, I almost find it disrespectful. Is that what, I'm not good enough to receive a proper handshake from you or something?
I know some people who feel that way. I know what you mean.
Shake my hand properly, bitch. We never see anything. We never feel real danger. It's all subtext and suggestion, which is great if you're writing a dissertation, but not if you actually want to be scared. The film hides behind the word atmosphere, the way some bad students hide behind the word symbolism. Critics treat it like a masterpiece because it's smart horror. But smart doesn't have to mean boring. You were just talking to me about that movie Nightmare a moment ago. We were talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Smart horror, not boring. Yeah. Hitchcock proved that in the same way with the movie I'm about to mention in a moment. One movie reinvented the genre. The other made people think
being pregnant was a slow burn nightmare of dinner parties.
Can I tell you, having lived through my wife being pregnant twice, it's not a slow burn nightmare of dinner parties. It's an aggravated screaming out the window cacophony of eating Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So yeah, Rosemary's Baby. It might be a classic, but for me, it's a 2-hour nap wrapped in prestige. I respect its influence, sort of, because I don't entirely recognize how much that influence has been merited, but I'd rather be terrified than intellectually massaged. Sorry, Satan's baby, you're just not that scary.
The eyes.
It was a hard watch. I have to do that.
I have to intellectually massaged. I'm proud of that one.
That is quite good. That is quite good. Right. Look, I appreciate Psycho for all that it has. I'm just leaving it there because, well, it's punted. You'd have to really not have been paying attention. This is a first time watch. This is the.
Can I talk about my number one, maybe?
Yes, you're right, because I don't have a worst.
Be great.
Yeah.
Just
Sorry.
maybe.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, my number one is Alfred Hitchcock Psycho, and it's again one of those like, come on, like, who are we getting? It's classic horror. It's first ballot Hall of Famer. It's the first name on the team sheet. It's freaking Sting at Stardom 97, Starcade 97. Like, come on, like. If you know that reference, well bloody done. You and I will be friends. This movie, fun fact, I actually didn't love it the first time I saw it, you know? It's grown on me the more I've watched it. You know, Hitchcock famously bought up every copy of the novel to keep the twist a secret. I love that about him. And he also insisted no one be admitted into the theater after the movie started, which again, love about that. This is the like albatross of modern horror. It's everything that followed, learned from its shocks, its pacing, its sound design, its moral slipperiness. Is it still untouchable? I don't know, because we've got so much great horror now. But is it still, without question, one of the most influential movies ever? I mean, yeah.
Look, I think what's happened to me is I know the pop culture references. And then, it's the amazingness of how he created the blood, and it's weird to not reveal the grand reveal. It's a bit like who happens to be Skywalker's dad. You should know it by now, but if you don't, it's not on me to spoil it, you know? So all of this has been the reveal. But I feel, it's one of those things that it's weird how the film goes on. And I think I was waiting for it because I know what's coming. I'm trying to rush what's coming. So you've got this whole huge story that comes before, and then it leads into coming to the motel because it starts off with the sister first and all of this. And I was like, okay. But I think it's through my own patience is where I this film lost me. And I must admit, after I watched it, I've not watched it again. I was like, oh, that doesn't match what I was expecting, kind of thing. But obviously, you know the end. And that's why it's where it was. I don't dislike the film. I was just not as impressed by it. But hearing you say that you didn't like it on first watch kind of gives me a bit of, okay, maybe I need to watch it again. Cool.
Your number one, AJ.
I do feel like mine might be a bit more lowbrow. This is definitely.
Are you a wanker? Let's find out.
Listen. I don't think so.
He's offended before I've even.
I can reveal it. When it comes to horror, is how I defend horror and define horror, should I say? Right? I watched it and I was like, "This is my embodiment of horror." I just really enjoyed it from the Universal Monster Universe. It was Frankenstein.
Okay, sorry. No, not a wanker. I thought you were going to go Albert and Costello meet Frankenstein. And
no.
Don't be silly.
No, even if I enjoyed it, I did want to see it because I know a lot of monsters pop up. I'm sure I would have had a good time with it, but I wouldn't have made it number one. You can't disrespect the genre by doing that.
This is what I'm saying. That's why I was like, if you do that, you're a wanker.
No.
In a realm where we're talking about horror that didn't scare you, but has been so influential to the horror that does scare you, you're like, but this horror comedy. What are we doing?
It wouldn't.
What was the point of the last hour and 40?
Yeah, like again, you talk about something like Nightmare and Invisible Ghost, and you're like, hey, comedy wins. Like, no. Even if I had the best time with it, it wouldn't match the theme. I think I'd done that with Vampires and Fright Night, but it was the vampire laws. But this one, have you seen this?
No, I don't think I have.
So it's earlier.
Lamley. The Man Who Made a Monster. I mean, May Clark, John Bowles, I know Boris Karloff.
1931.
Damn, yeah, but wouldn't have been
Yeah.
factoring in for me.
By the way, sorry, as I said it earlier, going back to my number 2, Nosferatu. That's a film that's over 100 years old.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
102 years old. To think cinema, the concept of cinema is 102 years old.
I love it. I love everything about that.
Absolutely amazing. And we're not too far. We're not too far off from this film that I'm quoting being amazing.
Snow
And
White's nearly 100. Wrap your head around that one.
I know. We're very close to that. We are very, very close to that. What I liked about this film is it starts with a man on a stage warning you of what you're going to see of Frankenstein's monster, and then the film appears. And if you know Frankenstein, I must admit, I haven't seen the 90s Frankenstein movie, so as much as I'm familiar with Frankenstein,
The one with De Niro.
I believe he's in it. I'm not
It's
sure.
fun.
Cool.
It's fun.
I just know it's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That's all I know.
Yeah, De Niro. It's De Niro and Kenneth Branagh. It's pretty fun, dude.
Yes, Branagh. I definitely knew Branagh was in it. Cool. There we are. So I'm very familiar with the story, not read it or anything. But the way this story was told, I appreciated it. Seeing Frankenstein, and it's not Igor, but it's his assistant at the time, robbing graves. So you see a funeral, you see them taking this, how familiar, I don't know. Was there the 2 brain situation in the Mary Shelley one?
I want to say yes. It's been a moment since I've seen
Can
it.
you imagine? So I mean, look, this is all within the first 10 minutes. So I'm not spoiling anything. It's that I'm not saying Frankenstein would have been ever lovable otherwise, but they tried to capture one person, but the person's hung himself. So the brain, the neck, with the broken neck, the brain's not usable. So then they go back to this school where Frankenstein's mentor is teaching. The mentor has shown there's a normal brain and what happens with a serial killer's brain or something like that, where they're showing the different indentations. The guy takes the normal brain, hears a sound, drops the vase with the normal brain, just picks up the other brain, which then leads to possibly the elements behind it. It was Frankenstein, how he reacts to light, how he seemed quite balanced until certain situations triggered him to then go against the people that were protecting him. It just continuously built, and I was like, I really enjoy this. You know, like I again, there's very much the situation of what do you call horror, what jumps into your mind. And yes, there is haute horror, and you will see that there is the birth of horror in Nosferatu. There's the different elements where you can just mix it with thriller and all the other bits. This sticks within the genre of what I'm familiar with, and I just really enjoyed what they done and how they created it in that time. You know, 1931. As we said, we're not far off from 100 years. And it just, from frame to frame, scene to scene, I just enjoyed everything that this delivered. That I was like, I just couldn't shake it off from being number 1.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So Rushmore, Psycho and Dracula go on there. The 1958 Christopher Lee Dracula, they're directly on there.
Here comes the biggest thing. My biggest thing sticks on one. Well, no. I was going to say 2 things I was going to say. One, do we want to have pre-1940? But I feel like I'm kind of inclined to have to be that. The other side to it is, as much as we have Dracula with Lee being a punt and it deserves it, it feels a bit weird to leave out Nosferatu, but I get it that we may have to because you don't want to make it a vampire party.
What year was your Frankenstein movie out?
31.
So you've kind of, with that, already got your pre-1940 horror.
This is it. I get it. I was just talking about the birth of horror would fall into that situation. But
your movies, bro, you got to pick on that one.
no, I know, but a Rushmore is 2 people. I could easily be like, yeah, Nosferatu and Frankenstein.
But no, you're not having both.
No, exactly.
We got
for
2 punts.
me, I'm going to put
each
Frankenstein.
film, right?
I'm going to put Frankenstein in. That's what I was saying. I didn't want to make it a foregone conclusion of your 1 and 2 and my 1 and 2. That's kind of where I was.
I'm toying with my 4 and 5 now. I mean, a part of me, for legacy's sake, thinks I should put Dawn of the Dead in there, or Night of the Living Dead, rather. part of me, just for affinity's sake, that thinks Creature from the Black Lagoon, because it's so special, should go in there. I think I'm probably leaning Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
Bro, I
just
must
because.
admit, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There was something. I've got to be honest. The ones that are new to you have really fascinated me. Be it Body Snatchers, be it Village of the Damned, Black Lagoon. Like, they've all got a little something that makes me go, it's a tough call. Yeah, you're right. We had 2 puns and a pick each. So yeah, I'm happy having Frankenstein. I feel you have a bigger challenge than I do.
I do. I think for Rushmore's sake, I'd probably have an easier time with the Russian spy subtext with Invasion of the Body Snatchers than selling people on the hokey fish monster. Shape of Water. This is better than the Shape of Water. Shape of Water can suck a fat fish.
It did, didn't it? But we won't.
She literally she sucked the fish, bruv. That whole South by said, "Do you like fish sticks?" She does. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. All right, let's do this.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of classic pre-1970 horror that you must watch in no particular order is
Dracula with Christopher Lee.
Dracula. That is good. Okay, our number.
Even though he's quite English, I've done it in reverse, haven't I? Because he was quite.
You have.
Yeah.
Our second entry is
Psycho.
Our third entry is
Frankenstein.
Our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of classic horror movies is
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Quick question. Is that Universal? It's not, is it? Or is it? It's not under the Universal Monsters, is it?
No. Jesus. No.
Good.
I'm going to say it's MGM. That would be my guess. Let's bring it up. Allied Artists.
You know what's perfect about that? We have a Hammer horror.
We have Universal.
A Universal horror. A Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And something else. That fits the narrative.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of diverse. I'm actually really happy with that.
That does make sense. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're wishing you all a very happy Halloween. We hope you have a good one. Let us know of the classic horrors that we've mentioned today. What are some that have piqued your interest and that indeed you have seen, and do you agree with our rankings if you have seen them? As always, leave your thoughts in your comments below. Keep it on our YouTube channel for some more shorts between AJ and myself, as well as over on our Instagram page, _SilverScreenDudes, and over on TikTok. But for now, we will see you next month. 2 more shows left this year. I'm Nico Luro.
I'm the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
And we will see you next time, guys. Like the video before you leave. Bye for now.
See ya.